Hello everyone and welcome to Speaking of Diamonds. My name is Rich and I'm coming to you today with what I believe may be a breakthrough. So you may have heard me talk in the past about I've been looking for the perfect solution to work with confetti because I typically like larger pieces. I like that are typically confetti heavy. But let's take it one step further. I have always been that person that I've wanted the tower of trays set up so that all I have to do is take a tray out of the tower, open it up, I have my drills, put my drills down, confetti or color blocking, regardless, didn't matter, and then put it back and then take another one. I just think it would save so much time from my normal kit up process, which would be kitting up into either Elizabeth Ward's or into the round Art Dot containers or similar, and dumping it into a traditional tray, dumping it back into the bottle. Next one, dumping it into the tray, dumping it into the bottle. So I've been trying a number of different things, and I think I found a really good solution, and I've been using it now for a while, so I feel that I'm confident bringing this to you as a potential solution if you're looking for something as well. So here are some criteria that I had. I needed to have a tray that, first of all, the tray that works well. Then I needed to have a tray that I wanted something that was secure, so that if the tray tower or tray itself were to be knocked over, that it would be, that the drills would be confined inside of them. So the other thing is I don't have a lot of room, nor do I want to take up a lot of room with those big like white towers or towers made by some of the 3D printers out there, because it just takes up way too much space. And the taller you go, the more apt, in my opinion, they are for me to elbow it or something and for it to tip over. So those were my basic criteria. I also, well, let me add one more. I also wanted to be able to kit up several diamond paintings at one time. So if you think about, if you have one of those big white towers, two of them together or something, to have 60, 80, 100 colors or what have you, that could be one painting. What happens if I want to kit up a second painting or a third painting, etc.? So with all of that in mind, I've been trying out a number of things, and I want to go through them with you, give you a little bit of pros and cons, and then tell you which one I've really been working with and trying out, and we'll go from there. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about how originally my plan was I'm a big Firefly tray person, and this is the Firefly Inferno Nano. And I was buying these like they were going out of style when they would have their oops sales. Now, an oops sale is when they sell something because it's not quite perfect for some reason. And quite honestly, when you look at some of these things, you cannot tell what the oops is because, and maybe here, I don't know if this is picking up, but I'm seeing like some darker spaces under here. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But trays work perfectly well. It's just the person who's making them is just sort of like, this isn't up to our standards. We don't want to sell it. Let's put it up for an oops sale. So they're heavily discounted, and then typically first come first serve, etc. So I was buying a bunch of these with the thought process that I'd get one of those white towers. I could put a bunch of these Inferno Nanos in the white towers, put a label on the end of them, and have my tower system. And it met most of the criteria. It's a tray that works, all right? It is sort of spill proof that if these were to, fall over, whatever, the drills are going to stay in there if the lid is on properly. But the other criteria was that would take up a lot of room, because let's see, I tried 3, 6, 12. I have maybe like a 12 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have a 10, 20, 30, 40 tray white, one of those white racks that you see on Amazon or other sites. 40 of these would fit in there. And quite honestly, when it comes to the diamond paintings that I work on, 40 colors is nothing. I'm looking at right now, the two that I have kitted up, one is 70, plus I have 2 special drills in there. And the other one is probably 10, 20, 30-ish, 40 colors, okay? It just, I would have to have too many of these to really have a proper system to work on multiple diamond paintings. So I said, you know what? I love these trays. I'm going to keep them. I just don't know this is a viable tower solution. So that went to the side. Then, when tray bricks first came out, and let me pull, when they first came out, and these are still available, the plain white tray bricks with the clear bottom, they have the large size like this, and then they have the smaller size, okay, for size comparison. When I first tried these, when they first came out, I found static to be a horrible problem. And plus, having this hinged door, just sort of, it was in my way. And I didn't particularly care for them. So I destashed them. Well, then they came out with new versions. And these are all the new versions, plus like some different colors here you can see. Like these are sort of like a blue iridescent on the back with a blue cover. They have a violet one that's light and then dark, but then they have one that's this light color on both sides. And then they have the traditional white cover with clear bottom. So I tried them again. The static problem was pretty much solved. I didn't have the static that I did the first time. Now, I still have static drills occasionally, so I pop in a little piece of dryer sheet or a little piece of the nail pads, and they work great. So the challenge I had was, okay, what do I do with these? Because they say they're stackable, but they're really, I mean, they're not, you know, they're going to fall over. And I'm just so accident prone that I'm not going to trust myself to just pile these things up. So what I did was, and again, there are the big white towers out there, but I don't have, like I said, that much room. I found a tower like this one. This is from Chris's Craft Corner. This is the small one. There's also one for the large trays. Now this one holds 3, 6, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 40. And then the large holds 10, 20 of the large trays. And what I like about this is, first of all, it's in my signature color of dark sparkle, which come to realize, Chris is like, we can't make these anymore because dark sparkle, the way that the glitter is in here, it doesn't, sometimes it chips and stuff like that in these designs. Whereas for the shapes and holders and stuff like that, that's fine. But for these, I had to beg her to make me the last 2 that I ordered because they weren't using this filament for these anymore. But what I liked about them is they were small. They're really only, let me get my ruler here. They're really only maybe 7 inches tall by 9 maybe inches, and then with the trays sticking out, not even 3 inches. So low profile, did the job, what have you, held in this instance a lot of the smaller trays. So I thought, let me try these. So I went ahead and I started using these, And initially, if you want to try out tray bricks, here's a hot tip for you, especially with the larger ones. And let me give you some measurements here. These are rough measurements, but basically a large one is 4 by 2 3/4. And then a small one is, and this is inches, maybe 2 3/4 by 2 inches. Okay, so like even that, 2 of these should be able to pile up here on top of that. So, yep. So the smalls are exactly half of the larger tray, just oriented the other way. Okay, here's a hot tip. If you want to try tray bricks, what you can do is, and this only works for the large ones, but the large ones come in like a white box that they stand up like this. For the longest time, I was using the tray bricks stood up like that in these boxes, and I would have 4 or 5 boxes, so 40 or 50 of the large trays, and I would just reach in, pull them out, and sure, they would slide down, they would move and stuff like that, but it was working. The only problem I had with it was when I would go for the ones that were at the top, so against the box, I started like ripping my cuticle and stuff because I was having to get in there and pull it out, but it totally worked. I just cut the flaps off one edge of the box and totally worked. So if you wanted to try them, it's a great way to not have to worry about storage and just use them out of the box for right then. The problem, it doesn't work with the smaller ones just because they are stacked like this in the box, so you can't get to the lower ones, and plus you typically are going to put your labels on the ends here. Those would be hidden, so it wouldn't work for the smaller ones. So those, a real quick, there's a number of different things that you could do out there, but a real quick thing is I get these little, and you can see I use them for extra drills for the most part, but I get these little trays at Dollar Tree, Dollar General, something. They're $1.25, and these you can set in your tray bricks this way. You can do a whole large one. You can do smaller ones this way if you want. So it's a really quick and easy and inexpensive way to corral these if you want to try them. You can go from there. You could also use, I've seen a lot of creative uses for those, the box inserts that come with the deck kits now. That people are putting those on their side, stacking trays in it and stuff like that. Another great way to corral these while you're trying them out. So I tried tray bricks. Did I like them? We'll see. Then I went to this company called Forever Young, and this is a set of 15 of the trays that we're going to look at. They also have a box of 45, and they just came out with a tower that has, I believe, 45 in it as well. But they give you a tower. Let's talk about the trays before I talk about towers. So, what were the criteria? That the tray works. They absolutely work. With both of these systems, it's very important you do not overfill the tray, because if you put all of your diamonds in here, you're going to lose the space to line them up. So typically, like you just saw, I had that dollar store container. I put all my extra drills in there, and then I will slowly refill them as I'm using them. And in order to signify to myself that I do have an extra somewhere, let me grab. So this color, if you see on my tag here, I have some of these just, they're color coding stickers. They're see-through. They're from Avery. You can find them on Amazon. I just put one of these on any of the color labels for which I have extras. So I know when I'm running short, I can go ahead and refill them. I'm not actually running out of that color. So it works. It is solid clasp here. The way that this clasp works is that you need to squeeze in a little bit and then pull up. And then when it comes down, I do find you have to push it closed. All right. I was forgetting that once in a while, and they weren't closing. They weren't closing securely. So you need to push it in. Plenty of room for your label. I put some washi tape on here to keep the plastic a little bit cleaner. And these are one size, and this is 3 1/4 maybe by 2 1/2. Okay, so a little bit smaller than the largest tray brick, but in here I'll line this up to, I think many of us know what this Inferno Nano is like. You can see that these are smaller than the Inferno Nano. So, what's good, what's bad about these? So the trays work. They are solidly locked. They're somewhat small enough. I mean, you would think that they're small enough that I could kit up multiple sets of these for the different multiple diamond paintings. The problem is that this is 15. And now look at 15 compared to the, what did I say, 40 over here, and this has 80 trays. This is 15. I have the 45. It's obviously 3 of these, so it's even longer. What I found was that these were a bit of a space hog. Okay. Now there are, like I said, Forever Young came out with a tower system for these. The thing with the tower system though is from what it looks like, there's sections, but they're not individual slots. So if you take something out, they can move around and whatnot within their section, and then you got to figure out where the colored went. However, I have seen, I believe Carissa has some tray bricks, Forever Young towers in the same type of setup, just sized for Forever Young. And I don't know that I've seen these fitting into any of the white towers out there, but they work. They're just a space hog. And I currently have a diamond painting with 61 colors. So I have all 60 of my Forever Youngs filled, and then I have one, I stole one of these and just put it into the larger box, and that is the kit up for that that painting. Essentially, it's like flat wise, it's the size, it's a little bit larger than an Elizabeth Ward, but then you have several inches on top of it, so it's a bit of a space hog. Okay, but they work well. So I tried those. Okay, so then the hottest thing out there right now, and let me move my little prop thing here to prop this up, are these Lazy Susan tray holders that I've started to see pop up on all of the 3D printer sites. Okay, and the way these work is that you have these little pie-shaped trays in them that you have to lift in order to get over this lip on the side. And you put your drills in here. You can put your sticker on the handle here. And there's even like the handle of this one has a little sort of funnel type situation. So when you're dekitting and stuff like that. And these come in all the cool colors. Now this one was not available in my favorite sparkle. So this one that I got from Carissa is, it's a teal to purple filament. So this is one filament that they can print so that you have some are teal, some are purple, and they'll line them up like this. Of course, you can move them around and make them staggered, whatever you want to do. But the way that you use this is you go through and you look for your color and go, okay, here's my color. Let me get this out, use it, and then go forth. Okay. So a couple things with this solution. So let's go through my criteria again. I needed a tray. I wanted a tray that works, and these definitely work. The lines are very well pronounced here. They don't hold a lot, Okay, and there's only one size of these, so I wouldn't put much more in these than I would the flat tray brick. Okay, so they're very small, so I did have a lot of drills in my sort of extras box, okay, which is fine. But there were a couple that I accidentally overfilled a little bit, and I quickly ran out of space to get in there and pull out the drills. Now, also, when I say that they work well, I also want to impress upon you that not only I do single place, but I also multi-place, and my sweet spot is this 6-placer from DAC. So I need to get in here and get my drills out in order to multi-place. Okay, so the tray bricks, the Forever Young, they work just fine. This one got to be a little tight depending on how many drills you put in here. But again, don't overfill it, which I did, I'll admit that. So what I ended up doing is I took a regular tray and I would take this, I would dump them out, use my tray, put them back in, put them up here. There's no time saving there. You know, it's like it's akin to just pouring it back into the container. So I knew I couldn't be doing that. The other challenge that I had with these, and I don't know, this could just be a me thing. It probably is just a me thing. But how I did arranged my colors is I went from like color 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and then around. And I think I had, this was the one I had 61 colors in. I would get lost. I'd be spinning, where is this? Where did it go? Because it, eventually what I did was I kept them sort of lined up like this. So I knew this was 10, 20, 30, and I would move the whole thing. But you can move every single level of this. And I just kept getting lost in it. So that wasn't really working for me, all right? So another part of my criteria was, are they secure? Pretty much. I mean, you gotta get these out. They are sort of, there's a little lip that these are hidden behind, and you gotta get them out. So they're sort of, you know, in there, but they are uncovered, and they do tend to, like if I were to tilt this right now, you know, a couple, like there, one came out, okay? So it's not like they're in here totally secure. So that wasn't really an issue too much for me, because I kept this on the side table and I would just use it that way. I wasn't moving it a lot and stuff like that. But I also found this to be, so this is 80 trays. Even though there's 80 trays here, which seems very space, what's the word I want? Efficient. It wasn't working for me because of the spinning, of getting lost in it, and the fact that it's deeper than even, you know, it's like deeper than these. So I couldn't put it on the little shelf that I have here on my table because it wouldn't fit, it wouldn't spin. So I needed to have it on my side table. And you need to be careful when moving them, because obviously the trays can come out, but you have to hold it from the top and the bottom. So to move it, to get to another setup, you know, if I had 2 of these or 3 of these or whatnot. So this just, it wasn't for me. They're incredibly well made. I mean, Carissa did a fantastic job with this. I love that she recommended something that has my colorway in it, even though it's not the color the exact thing. It works great, but that getting lost in the spinning, just, I couldn't do that. So what's the winner? Well, I'm shocked myself to tell you. Let's do this. I'll give you the first, second, and third place here. This came in third place. I'm actually destashing this. It has already been sold, but I'm going to be destashing this. Second place is my Forever Young containers, If I need something that I can, this is the box that they come in. It's a very nice box, and it will, it serves as my organization for these trays. So I love that. But like I said, it's a space hog. So if I have something kitted up in this, these are definitely on my side table. What have you. I have to move them if I need to get anything else out, but they are definitely a solid choice. My solution right now, and I've been using it, are the tray bricks. Folks, these end up to be pretty cool, all right? Now, the one drawback with the tray bricks that I have is, and it also applies to the Forever Young trays, is at the clear bottom, if you have a certain, like if I had a blue drill on here and I have it on my blue pad here, sometimes you could lose the drills a little bit. But the way I get around that is I just take a piece of release paper and set it on there if absolutely necessary. But for the most part, I don't have, I've gotten over that, if you will. They do have these other colors, so like the purple, both this half and half and the one that's all, I believe the other tray that's in this color wave is, this is the primary color and then this is the lid. Obviously those are solid down at the bottom. This one is a new version, and this is pretty cool. I may get more of these. It's this iridescent blue reddish thing here, and it just gives it enough of a field of obscures the view enough that I don't lose track of my drills as easily. So yeah, I've been using my tray bricks, and I've really been enjoying using the tray bricks. And now I'm going to show you, I have a picture that I took of how I have these set up in front of my painting space here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that picture up. So here I have two sets of the smaller tray brick towers. Okay, so a total of 80 small tray bricks. And then I have 4 towers of the large tray bricks, which would be 20, 40, 60, 80. So I have 80 of each, so I can do 160 colors. Okay. To the right, sort of to the center and to the right, that's one color, or I'm sorry, one canvas. That is 72 colors, 70 colors really, but then I added 2 specials. And then all the way to the left is my smaller painting that has, I think, what did I say, 10, 20, 30-ish colors. And I still have room to kit up something else. All right. Now, I did kit the other item, or the other image I'm working in, I did put into my Forever Young trays. But the reason for that is you can see how this is laid out. Like I have gaps of, there's some empty small trays all the way on the left. There's some empty larger trays sort of in the middle left. And then all the way at the right-hand side, I have like a whole tower full of empty trays. So I didn't want to like move everything around, so I just put them in my Forever Young trays right now. But I could theoretically see having even a third painting kitted up here, depending on how many colors that it had. And you can see, so what this is I have a standing desk, and I took like maybe like a 1x6 maybe, and that was all pre-cut and ready to go at Menards. I laid that over, this is like a hutch that I bought separately, that I laid it over the very bottom, has like these 2 support beams. I put it over that, and it's against a grid wall that is secured to the hutch, so that these really can't tip over, at least going backwards. Okay. So this is really, really, really working out well for me, and I'm totally enjoying using this. I don't need my side table out and in the way. I can have it pushed up against the table so it's not sitting right next to me. It just seems to be right now a great solution for confetti or for color blocking, either way. You know, and let me just demonstrate here. Here's my painting, right? I take out one of these and I do my color blocking, whatever. Well, then you get, even with a color blocking piece, you get to the end and you have those stragglers. I can do, okay, I need one of these, open, boom, done. Now I need one of these, open, boom, done. And now I need one of these, open, boom, done. You know, so it's such a time saver, such a time saver. I've not done official time studies, if you will, but I did see, I believe Katie did a time study one time to see, and it is a little bit quicker and certainly less manipulation of things, less spilling of drills. That was my thing. I like literally, if you look at the floor underneath my desk, it is constantly littered with drills. And then I vacuum them up, and then the vacuum is a combination of drills and dog hair. And if there was a craft that I could make things out of drills and dog hair, I would be set for life because I have so many. But this, you pour them in here once and you're sort of done. They are, they do shut pretty well. So you do have to get in there and open them up when you need to, but you hear that they do snap shut, so you're sure that it's closed. They do have, there's a tool on one of the Etsy vendors, I think it may be Kevin's diamond painting pens. I'll find the link and put it down below, that you can like sort of insert underneath of this and it just pops open in case you don't want to, if you have nails or something you don't want to harm while using these. But I also have seen people use their tweezers. So I'm just using the murder tweezers, the end, just to pop it open and go from there. So yeah, for me, Traybrooks is where it's at. And that did shock me because, like I said, I tried them once and I didn't care for them. But the learning curve has been small. The kitting up is super simple. Kitting down is super simple. Having them up here, like right now, I could see having more of these towers and maybe even having a tower that I need to like swap out from what's above my desk here, just so that, you know, like if I'm not working on this painting, I take this off and I put another one in its place. I could totally see myself doing that. But the only thing that I wish, and I think that Carissa has what she calls space saving, that are just like 20. There's like 20 and then 10 of the large. So it's half the size of these. I may get some of those just to put in between these larger pieces, just so that when I have, like if I have this plus one row of large, I'm not using a whole double column large tower. I can just use the one tower. So yeah, these are really working for me, and I'm loving it. So hopefully that's giving you some perspective of what are some possibilities to deal with if you want to be that kitting up to the tray type person, and or if you wanted something that to effectively work on confetti, what have you. Maybe this will give you the opportunity to try some of these. These are available. Like I said, this came from Chris's Craft Corner. The Forever Young and the Traybrooks, they are available on Amazon. They will come from China, so they will take a little bit to get here. But yeah, the Traybrooks, watch for sales. Like I said, I bought, I think they had a sale that it was, you like got 5 for the price of 4 or something like that. So I got 5, and then I was just using those for a while, and I've since expanded out to get the additional ones of the sizes that I needed. So yeah, I hope that has helped. Perhaps you know, if you have any questions, please post them down below. But that really works for me. And I think this is a system that I'm going to be using for some time. Now, I will say, with a high color piece, like the J-walls that I have, or at least the ones that are not from deck, because you know I love my J-walls, I love my large color count pieces, I probably would still put those into art dot jars. So like right now I have my J-wall kitted up into 4 art dot drawers full of the round containers. I would probably still do that just because, like, what do I have? 160 colors. That would be my entire, one painting would be my entire spread here. And I wouldn't be able to swap out for something else. So I'd probably still kit those up into the art dot containers, unless I were to get like double the amount of these and just swap out the towers for the different paintings that I'm working on. Yeah, so I hope that's helped give you some perspective to some solutions that are out there. Just because something works for me doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. I know that a lot of people have had a lot of success with the Lazy Susans that I just didn't have. So, but now you can at least maybe try things out with a little bit of informed, like, here's some pitfalls that I was experiencing. You can see if you have the same thing, and maybe the Lazy Susans will work perfect for you. So my point here is just, there are so many different ways to diamond paint. You do you. Whatever works for you. If the Elizabeth Ward still works for you, keep doing the Elizabeth Ward. But this is just a possibility should you want to try something different. So thanks everybody. I will talk to you next time we are speaking of diamonds. Have a good one.